Good morning, folks. Cup number two. What cup are you on? Let me know. But today I wanted to point your attention to an interview that occurred over on XRP Las Vegas about a month or so ago by a gentleman named Ray Fuentes. He interviewed Greg Kidd, this gentleman here. So before I talk about what that interview involved, let me go ahead and tell you who Greg Kidd is. He says Greg Kidd is a serial entrepreneur, investor, and the co-founder and CEO of Global ID, a company focused on creating a portable, self-sovereign digital identity platform that empowers individuals to control their own identity data. He's a prominent figure in fintech and regtech. With a focus on decentralized systems, blockchain, and digital identity solutions, here's a concise overview based on available information. Career highlights, investments. Kidd was an early investor in major tech companies like Twitter, Square, Coinbase, Robinhood, Ripple, and Solana. Providing financial funding and strategic guidance, his investment firm, Hard Yaka, focuses on startups in portable identity payments and marketplaces. Global ID in particular, as CEO, Kidd is building a neutral blockchain-based identity framework that allows individuals to manage their own permissions and money securely, aiming to reduce reliance on centralized systems like government-issued IDs or corporate databases. He emphasizes self-sovereign identity to combat issues like data breaches, fake news, and financial exclusions. We always hear that data was taken from T-Mobile or AT&T or some of the credit reporting agencies or some bank or Amazon. There's always a data breach, and then all of a sudden we get all this spam and weird email and text from people we don't know. Even banks get their data breached. So this Global ID thing seems like a pretty good idea. Kidd also had a diverse background, including serving as a chief risk officer at Ripple. He was one of the first 10 employees. In fact, I think he was employee number 10 at Ripple at the beginning. He was working as a senior analyst for payments at the Federal Reserve Board prior, and holding positions at Promontory Financial and Booz Allen. He also took his bike messenger startup, Dispatch Management Services, public on the NASDAQ. Yeah, I remember he did the bike messenger thing. So just to give you an idea of who he is, he's a smart guy, he's a billionaire. He's throwing a lot of money at blockchain in different areas, but he's been early to a lot of major players because he seems to know a good idea when he sees one, or sometimes he just comes up with the idea on his own. So in this interview, Greg Kidd goes on to say things like he thinks the Genius Act is passing this summer, which I agree with completely. He also thinks that market structure bill is going to pass this year. I believe that as well. I think they're going to try to marry it maybe. And he thinks that this whole process is on a fast burn now. In other words, we're on a fast track to transitioning into a blockchain-based financial structure. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen on a global scale. So the big quote from here is he says, "It's game on, baby. Here we go." He went over to the blockchain conference in Washington, D.C. He said 1 out of 10 people that attended were from Congress. Now, we know Congress isn't there for their health. They're there to make themselves some money. We are too. And this is where I guess the good investment is, right? The hot investment. The hot hand. So we're going to listen to some sound from this video here. It'll only be about 34 seconds. It's about a 2-some-odd minute video if you want to go see the whole thing. But the part that matters that involves Greg Kidd is going to be the first 34 seconds. Let's listen. Here we go.
I think the Genius Act is passing this summer. I don't think this is on a slow burn. I think this is on a fast burn. I think the market structure bill is going to happen this year too. It's game on. This is the year the planets all came together. It was coming, but this is the year it has happened. It's reflected at the highest levels of politics. Like if you go to Washington to the blockchain conference, I think 1 out of 10 people there was from Congress. Going forward, we don't see two worlds, we see one world. So anybody who's bridging that gap, like Bridge, that's what we're investing in.
I'd love to hear that.
So, as you can see, he's pretty enthusiastic about it, and I think he's right on the money. We're watching it. We don't need to hear it from him. We're watching what's happening with this bill, the big beautiful bill. I mean, President Trump just had a huge conference yesterday promoting it at the White House because he's really pushing to get these guys to get it done. I think he's even suggested they work over the weekend just to make sure to finalize this so he can sign it maybe by 4th of July and celebrate the whole thing. As I mentioned earlier, they might even attach the market structure bill, which would be great. If not, it should be coming our way not too long after. But once that's done, the rules of the road are there. You're going to know exactly how fast you can drive, what kind of car you can drive, and what that car can do on those roads. That's what the market structure bill is for. That is what the big beautiful bill, part of it, tends to do. I mean, this bill is huge, apparently, but it's got a lot of blockchain issues in it. Now, he's also mentioned that he's already signed the deal with China. He's signed a few other deals, and more are coming. But you better believe every one of those trade deals, I think the real reason behind those trade deals, yeah, maybe countries have tariffed us to death, but we haven't done it back, and it's killed our markets and blah, blah, blah. But I bet you, I'm going dimes to donuts, I guess, right? That there is a lot of crypto rules and crypto parts of crypto agreements within those trade deals. Crypto's got a big place in those trade deals, and I think we're going to find that out as time comes and goes. As time passes, we're going to see more news about what was the details in these trade deals, and I think we're going to find that it's going to mirror what we're seeing in the Big Beautiful Bill and the Market Structure Bill, because they're planning it. And who's got the world reserve currency? We do. So I guess we can say how that money flows, right? The circulatory system of the financial system. So that's what's coming. I'm excited about it. I think we're going to see a lot more action. And here's another quote I wanted to bring your attention. We all know that Judge Torres denied the request from Ripple and SEC, but it's going to be kind of moot because Mr. Intuitive has a really good point here. He says when the Crypto Market Clarity Act, which is Market Structure Bill, right, specifically defines XRP as a commodity, which is what it's going to do, I think, you'll ask yourself, why you wasted so much time today crying about the injunction that centers around selling a security? And he's talking about the injunction that was put against Ripple for its old institutional sales, because the assumption is in those days you could see XRP as a security way back then, and I think it was like 2015 or 2014. That many years ago. Anything that's going on today is okay. They can do that now because now XRP has legal regulatory clarity. But those old sales, that's what that's about. And so it's not going to matter at all because once we get the Clarity Act and it'll define everything as it should be, then that case is going to be moot. It's going to be pointless. It's just going to disappear, right? So that's basically what's going to happen with all of that. I think unless Ripple decides to go ahead and pay the fine and move forward, I guess we'll find out. But I think he's right. Once that happens that whole case, meaningless. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, bookmark, and we will see you guys on the next one. Until next time, adios, amigo.